What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the InnerCityGeeks podcast. It's Steve here, and joining me today for episode 253, I got Renee.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Chilling, bro. Chilling. How you been, man? How's this last week been treating you?
Pretty good. I was busy playing video games and driving Uber, so that
Nice.
was pretty cool. I decided to treat myself because I had a really good last weekend. Yeah, let me say it again. Last weekend on the roads was really good, so I
Nice.
decided to treat myself when I got the Mass Effect Legendary Edition,
Oh, nice. How was
which
that?
which collects 1, 2, and 3. It's good. Like I beat one. I kind of zoomed through it. So it's good so far. Number one, it's way easier than I remembered. So I had to.
Okay.
I might do it. I might redo one with fem shep, female
Okay.
shepherd, and
Mm-hmm.
kind of see what the differences on harder difficulties. But so far so really good. Like it looks great, plays a lot better. Number one was the one that had the most changes to it, like playing wise and controller wise. So it's good. It's definitely worth the 50-60 bucks that it's going for. What else? Oh, and I got there's a new Warhammer game called Necromunda Hired Gun. It's a one player kind of story, first person shooter, a lot like
Okay.
Doom. It's really good. It's one of the first of the newer games that are coming out, because starting, I guess, at the end of the year, they're gonna start releasing like more games.
Right.
Yeah. What else? I what did I was playing that game like all week, so I didn't really watch anything.
That's fair. That
Um,
happens.
yeah, I think that was pretty much my week. Last weekend was really good with Uber. You were working the festival. I was kind of like driving around there, and
Nice.
it was a nice week. It was cool. I didn't get to go to the gym, but I'll do that this week.
Okay.
I'm kind of doing I guess with driving Uber again, like hardcore. It's like I'll take a week on, week off. So yeah,
That's fair. That's fair.
I think that's it. Like I said, like I was just obsessed with Mass Effect because it was I haven't played those games since like maybe a good 10 years, 5 years.
Okay.
Somewhere between 5 and 10 years, I haven't played those games. I definitely haven't played 2 and 3 again because I started 2 and I had no idea what was going on. So I'm
Nice.
taking a break to see what
Yeah,
happens.
because Mass Effect 3, it doesn't basically go like in a whole different direction than the other ones.
Yeah, the last one, 3 is like the most different one out of the trilogy, but they're still pretty much like the same type of game.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's I'm racking my brains to see if I saw anything else. No, I don't think so.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
It happens. Yeah, we all tend to like just get in our own heads and focus on the things that we're focusing on, and we just completely forget about everything else. It's kind of the same
That
way.
does happen. But like
Yeah.
I know I saw something other than what we're gonna talk about later, but I'm drawing a blank.
It's all good.
Okay.
It's all good. Well, we can dive into it later on if it just happens to pop into your brains.
Okay.
Yeah. As for me, you kind of mentioned it for a second. Like, this last week was last week after we recorded. Like, I wound up doing something that I've never done before. Like, I've been to festivals and shit before, but I actually got to work a EDM festival. So I worked the Sunset Music Festival out here in Tampa, and it was totally different than I was expecting. Mostly because I'm, like I said, I'm not a fan of EDM music. I've never been a fan of EDM music. Probably when I was younger, maybe like I guess in like the early 2000s a little bit. We know when Blade and whatnot. Well, yeah, when Blade and the Matrix and all that shit was out, and they had all the soundtracks for that. I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting then. But then I kind of grew away from it because, of course, it wasn't necessarily my style. That's not something that I was used to. And then, actually working an event for that type of music, something that like I kind of grew to not enjoy, especially now that a lot of it's super electronic and you kind of like I've mentioned it before. It all sounds like robots fucking. Like I never really gave a fuck about it until actually like seeing how live the crowd gets to these things. Like I was not expecting it. I know people one of those Mario, he usually goes to like the Electric City out there, out in New York or whatever, the Electric Playground or whatever the fuck it's called. But it's different and it's cool. It's actually really interesting because of course I've never been there. Like I've done the metal festivals and that's totally different. It's pretty much everybody going crazy over obviously music, but in this one it's first it was the first huge music festival in Florida since everything's pretty much opening up, especially out here. Everything is open for the most part.
Yeah, like people were telling me because like I kept driving people to and from the event. They were telling me like, it's I might be one of the first big festivals in the country that started.
Yeah,
Everything else is closed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why everything is pretty much happening out here because this is the first state that actually like is opening the doors to everything. Pretty much. It all I guess pretty much started with like the Super Bowl. They started to throw people in a little bit here, a little bit there. Then they kept it with WrestleMania. They added a little more people, and then this one they was like, "Fuck it, let's go all out," because Florida pretty much opened up all their doors, and they're just like, "Fuck it, let's just bring everybody in." At this point, for the most part, we think that everybody's at least got the jab at least twice, or at least once. So it was a very fun experience to actually be in an event that had over 30,000 people on 2 different days. It's fucking nuts. For the most part, I'm assuming that it was both days. It was the same amount of people, but of course, there are people that you just bought tickets for one day and then not for the other. But it was actually really fucking fun. I wasn't expecting it to be as exciting as it was. I actually was. Obviously, like I said, I'm not a fan of it, but they had me in the VIP area, which was kind of cool. Never really worked the VIP area other than being in a VIP area a long time ago. But yeah, dude, it was super fucking fun to actually work a VIP area and tell people, no, you can't fucking sit over here. You can't be over here. You got to go the other way. Go the other way. Turn around. And just reject people from going into the fucking place. But it was cool. Like I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed being a bouncer for a day.
Yo, as far as like the driver's side, like me looking at that shit, because I was driving all weekend last weekend, it was interesting because like every time I had to take people over there, I specifically wouldn't drive into where you're supposed to go because like one, they changed it from one spot to like this other side that was really inconvenient, and two, once you got in, you're kind of stuck because everybody's like unloading and loading. So I was like, yo, fuck this, I'm not staying. So I would drop them off on the corner, and it was cool. Like the crowd too was like really cool. Like they just want to have fun or whatever. Yeah, and I haven't seen that much butt cheek outside of a strip club or the beach in like a long fucking time. It was glitter and butt cheeks. Yeah, and like I told you, I saw a chick walking around with the she had shorts on, so the bottom part wasn't showing, but she had like the banana hammock from Borat. And it was an interesting weekend, man. I helped somebody. I was giving out sunscreen because I had one of those giant bottles in my car, and like they actually tipped me, which was fucking awesome. That's awesome. And yeah, like I took people from up here all the way down there, and then came back, dragged somebody else down there. It was cool. Like everybody was in a good mood. They had a great vibe. Everyone that went on Saturday, that went on Sunday, said Saturday was good, but Sunday was much better. You said the same thing.
I said the exact same thing. Yeah.
What was hilarious is when like Sunday, when it was already like winding down, but it was still partying. It must have been 10 o'clock because the event stops at midnight.
Yep.
But like every time you stopped, like I had noticed it in the day, but it was really noticeable at night. Like there was a like fog of pot smoke that would go on to Dale Mabry.
Yeah.
And like whenever the wind blew, like you could see the fucking weed and smell it. It was just fucking hilarious. So I was going home and I had my windows open and I was like, yo, that's some party time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I look everybody. Yeah, I was really glad that you had a good time because sometimes like if it's not your music, you might just be totally bored. But I could tell like everybody was in a good mood. They're all tripping.
Yeah.
Everybody was smoking.
Yeah. Everybody was tripping because like I said, it's one of those events that like you don't expect to be as fun as it is, especially because like that's one thing that like I'm not into it. Like I don't really give a fuck about it. And so other than like times that I've told you, like when I was at Webster Hall way back in the day,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
experiencing that type of vibe on a huge scale. Because Webster Hall, like it's a club, so you're encased with everything just for a little while, and you're walking through from one place to the next place in the fucking place. But there, it's literally all around you, and you feel the music like in your fucking chest. It's fucking nuts.
yeah.
It's absolutely fucking insane. And the one thing that I got from it, I was like, yo, like these people just enjoy it, and they, I guess the young people say, they just vibe to it, and so like it felt good to be there. Like I was like, okay, I like this. I like the flow. I like I enjoy the vibe that was being set off in there. I was like, okay, I like it. I like it. I can dig this. Not necessarily the music, but I can dig being there. It was fun. It was fun, and it was cool to actually see cheeks and pasties everywhere.
Ass and titties. Yeah, it was nuts because like when I'm driving, I don't really pay attention to the people and I don't when I drive like Uber, I don't see people, I see money.
Yeah,
so I
that's
don't
fair.
really like interact with them until they interact with me. But like, yeah, I was, everybody was like talky and having fun and
Yeah.
psyched to be here. I had two people, no, I had like two couples, so I guess four people that were from California, and they told me the same thing. They're like, everything's still dead out west, so they came out for this one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm glad it was good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Like it was hard for me to actually focus on the actual job because there was so much of it everywhere. Like especially like I'm in there, in the middle of the fucking music, and me knowing how I am, I enjoy music no matter how shitty it can be. Like I enjoy music. I actually get into it. I start to semi dance to it and shit while I'm standing at my post, and I'm just like, oh, I like this. And then you see random girl with like, almost nothing on. And she just like stands next to you because she wants to get where you are. I'm like, nope, you're not allowed over here, but you can stand there for a little while. It was an interesting situation, but it was super fun. Like I said, like I enjoyed the fuck out of it. And I'm glad I got to do it and I got paid for it. So because personally, like I wouldn't have paid to go into the place because of course, like I've mentioned it before, like I'm not a fan of the music, but it was cool to actually be there and actually see it for what it is, because especially in the VIP area where the tables were about $5,000 a table just for the table itself. Yeah, it's a lot of fucking money, and that's not including like the liquor.
Shit, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Because the regular tickets weren't that much. I think
No, the regular tickets. Yeah, exactly. The regular tickets were pretty cheap, but for the VIP area where you get to sit in pretty much, especially for the VIP section by itself was not too bad. It's probably like about 150 a ticket or so.
Okay.
But for the VIP table seatings with all the hot ladies that are serving you and shit, that was like $5 a piece, and that was nuts because that's the section that I was pretty much in charge of in a way, and it was fucking crazy, dude. It was really fucking cool. I got to meet a lot of cool people there, and it was fun. I'm glad that I went. I'm glad I worked it, and it's a good way to start off the summer. Because the summer is pretty much here in Florida, so it's exciting to see what's going to come out of that. Then after that, that was also the same weekend that we had a Double or Nothing from AEW. That was a really good fucking pay-per-view. It was a really good pay-per-view. Like I don't think there was really a dull match in the entire thing. Like I've been a huge fan of the AEW, and actually, it's kind of sad that I didn't get to watch it live, but with the miracles of the internet, of course, you got to see the whole thing from the beginning to the very fucking end. There was like about a good 4.5 hours worth of wrestling. It was really fucking fun.
Yeah, it was good. We saw it on Monday, the day after. It was good. A little bit too long, but it was really good.
Yeah, it was really fucking long. It was kind of like as long as like a lot of these fucking WWE events, but it was actually entertaining. Even the Stadium Stampede match that was slightly pre-recorded was actually very entertaining because a lot of these pre-recorded matches kind of tend to suck, and it was cool. It was fun. It was a fun match. A lot of the AW was really cool. It was a lot of cool shit. They introduced Mark Henry as the new host for their new show that's going to be coming out in August on TNT.
That reminds me of something. Why do people hate that dude so much? Because like
Who, Mark Henry?
Mark Henry, yeah. Because
I
there
don't
was
know.
like some kind of like static thing when well, a couple of tweets when like he showed up like, oh no, not him. So I was like curious, but I mean, I guess
I'm
whatever.
not sure. I'm not sure why they hate on him. Like, I guess because he was a bit of a heel for a while. They probably still consider him to be a heel, but he has a show. He does a show like a weekly show on fucking on Sirius. So I don't see why they hate on
Huh.
him all the
Okay.
time. Yeah, yeah. He does the with what is it, a Busted Open or whatever on Sirius or whatever, and
Okay.
he's on there with, and they have a alternating group, alternating cast. So it's him, Bubba Ray, or Bully Ray as he calls himself now, and Tommy Dreamer. They're all like on
Oh,
there,
okay.
so they're all on there like on different days. But yeah, he's there. He does it all the fucking time. So I don't know why they fucking shit on him because he's a great fucking wrestler. Like
Yeah.
he's been doing it for a long time, and the fact that like he comes to AEW now is like, yo, like I'm here to do this. And then on Friday night dynamite that they had, because they had the playoffs and stuff, the NBA playoffs are going on. He pretty much said like, I'm not completely done with wrestling at the moment, but you know, maybe in the future I may just lace up the boots again. So the possibility of him actually coming back to the ring, just like possibilities of the Big Show coming back into the ring as well, or
Okay.
Paul White as he called himself, coming back into the ring is pretty cool. Like I'm glad to see that they're possibly working on coming back into the actions and stuff because they're both really good wrestlers. And
Just glad they're alive.
yeah. And Mark Henry at this point, he's actually like, because I follow him on the Twitters and Instagrams and shit. He's actually in better shape than he was back in the day. Like he's toned down a little bit, but he's like healthier than he was before.
Good.
Yeah, it's fucking cool. It's fucking cool. And then for some shit that I actually watched other than like the wrestling and stuff, actually one more thing that I watched for the wrestling that I actually watched just before we started recording was actually started watching the rest of what's come out so far for the Dark Side of the Ring on Vice. And the last episode I watched, the first episode was of course the Brian Pillman, that was two parts or whatever. But
yeah, I caught up on that too. I gotta see the Nick Gage one, but I saw the rest.
Yeah, I just finished watching the Nick Gage episode. And that's fucking nuts, dude. That episode is fucking nuts because he puts it all out on the line. Like he takes ECW to the next level, pretty much. Like, because he does the whole death matches. That's all he does.
All right,
All
I gotta
death
check that one
matches.
out.
Yeah. And it's fucking nuts. He wound up, addicted to opioids and shit, and fucking he goes and he robs a bank because I didn't know his whole backstory and shit.
Yeah.
He goes, robs a bank without a mask on, and and he's staring into the cameras and shit. It's fucking nuts because I don't know if you've seen online, but whenever he comes out into the ring, he's always wearing a mask. so he goes into robbing a bank without a mask.
So good, he's a criminal genius. Okay.
Right, exactly.
All
Yeah, but there's a lot of cool shit in there, and
right.
the fact that he's actually not dead. He's actually still wrestling now.
Yeah, I saw that. What you haven't seen the rest though, right?
I have not seen the rest yet. No.
The Korean one's really funny because they're like, we thought we were gonna die. It's really funny. The Korean one's really funny.
Nice. I gotta check it out. I've been a fan of the Dark Side of the Ring for a while, so I'm glad that they brought it back out again.
Yeah, it's one of the better shows they have on Vice.
Yeah, and I actually want to see the A&E documentaries that they've been doing for the wrestling as well too.
Yeah,
I want to see those. I haven't seen those yet. And then also this week, something that we're going to be talking about later, but I got to go to the theaters for the first time in over a year. So exciting. Oh, I miss being in the movie
Yeah, we're
theaters.
like the opposite on that because like I'm cool if I never step foot in another movie theater ever again, just because I don't like crowds and like I want to be able to focus on the movie and be entertained.
Oh, I get it. I get it completely. See, but the thing with me is that like whenever I'm in the theater, I tend to tune everything out. But I do enjoy being in a theater with other people that are enjoying the same thing that I'm enjoying at the same time. That's my thing. Like I've always loved going to the movie theaters. Even as a fucking child. Like the first movie I remember seeing was fucking what was it? Ricochet, I think it was. A long fucking time ago that I remember watching. Um and I fucking loved it. And then to be in a theater now after all this shit happens, seeing it and actually being there and actually seeing something on the big screen felt really fucking good. I was so engaged. I enjoyed being at the movie theaters again, and for what it was, because of course this was a screening for something that came out this week as well, which is what we're going to be talking about later, which is going to be The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. That's going to be for the spoilers towards the end. But yeah, it was cool to actually be in a theater, and that's kind of what I've been missing for a while. um, but yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Um, oh yeah, I also watched another movie on Amazon, and that was Bliss. That stars Salma Hayek and Owen Wilson. That was an
What,
interesting movie.
didn't you see the one with Russell Crowe, the road rage movie?
Yes, I watched that one as well. That one is really
That I
fucking
want
good.
to check out because I saw some people review it like on Twitter and they said it was good. So,
It
and I
is
trust you.
fucking
So,
good. It is fucking good, dude. That movie is, it is insane. It makes you wonder, like, yo, don't honk at this person because this person can come back and fuck you over in the long run.
is it
And
on? It's on
it's
Hulu or
I believe it was on Hulu. A
okay?
lot of things that are on Hulu are also on Amazon too. That's it's
Okay.
fucking weird. But yeah, I think it was on Hulu. But yeah, it's fucking good. And also I also watched The Nice Guys. I've never watched The Nice Guys. I kind of went on a Russell Crowe kind of trip in a way. In a way,
Well,
Russell
that
Crowe was
movie's tripping.
yeah, that movie's so good, dude.
It's funny, yeah.
It's fucking hilarious, dude. I fucking loved it. The Nice Guys and what was Unhinged is the other one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking good. Seeing Russell Crowe being a complete bad guy, like he's a complete asshole in this movie, because he just goes on a tear. Like from the very beginning, like you don't see why he's doing things, but then as the story goes, you kind of see why, but then you're just like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Why is he doing it? Like, why does he continue to do this? Because he's just wreaking havoc all over all over town. It's fucking nuts.
Okay.
It's really good. It's what you would think of from like that movie with this dude that he went crazy and he just started fucking killing people and shit. Well, like not just killing people, but just being a complete badass or whatever. Michael Douglas.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Falling
Kind of,
down.
yeah, kind of like falling down, but he takes it to the next level and he just starts torturing one person throughout the entire thing and makes her life a living hell. Because he's like, yo, I've had a bad day, and she's like, okay, cool, I'm sorry. And then he's like, no, I want to make sure you have a bad day. And just he just fucks her over. And it's bad and it's a good movie. It's a good fucking movie. Definitely go check out Unhinged. That shit is great. Yeah, and I guess that brings us to the geek shit for this week. Yeah. Oh, that was fun. The geek shit, we got a lot of cool geek shit this week. So much that I completely forgot about everything. No, but but one thing that I thought was pretty cool for this week, so far, we've been talking about Toxic Avenger getting a reboot, recently with Peter Dinklage in it as well, and that's a fucking cool ass. That's a cool premise, a cool story. I've always loved the Toxic Avenger shit, and we got word that Elijah Wood is gonna be playing the villain in this, and that's fucking cool because I fucking love Elijah Wood as fucking in Maniac.
Yeah. I saw that.
So seeing him in a villainous role is gonna be fucking cool. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with this.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of stuff that you necessarily wouldn't associate with him. Like he's done some good stuff, a lot of indie stuff.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of indie stuff because, of course, he kind of suits the role and he can fit in pretty much anything. Because after doing the Lord of the Rings shit, he's like, yeah, I don't want to do all that shit again.
I don't remember the first Toxic Avenger movie that much. I mean, I know I saw it, but I think the bad guys are supposed to be like jocks or some shit, right?
It could be, yeah.
Sounds cool.
But even then, even at that point, if it was jocks, like he doesn't feel like he doesn't look like the jockey type role.
Yeah. I mean, whatever they do, I'm pretty sure I can't see him fucking it up. He's been consistently good in everything he does. Like every movie that he did, like the indie movies that he's done, like he did a couple for Netflix and just some random stuff. None of them had bad reviews. So
yeah, and like I said, the last movie that I remember watching him in was Maniac, and that shit was fucking dope.
Yeah, that was one of the few horror remakes.
Yeah, that was really one of the few horror movies that's actually
really good. And the OG one is just as fucked up. It's just the actors suck, but
yeah,
definitely check that out if you haven't already.
Yeah, definitely worth a watch. Then some other news that came out this week, something that I'm super excited for, and you're super excited for as well, is Archer finally got not only just Archer, but
What We Do in the Shadows, yeah.
What We Do in the Shadows both got renewed, and we already know that they're getting the next season, and they're gonna be premiering on the 25th of August.
Both I was surprised because they hadn't said. I mean, I didn't catch anything about What We Do in the Shadows, and after I saw it earlier this year, and because I really love that show. Like it's one of the best shows ever.
Yeah, and it's fucking great.
I'm really glad they're making another season.
Yeah. Especially What We Do in the Shadows is actually going to be on September 2nd, and the Archer is going to be on August 25th. Okay. But regardless, they're both fucking great fucking shows. I've been kind of slacking on the Archer because I haven't watched Archer in like about a season and a half or two or so. So I got to catch up on it. But I was a huge fan of it before. Like it was fucking great. It was a great fucking show. It was a great fucking premise. Had a great cast. Like H. John Benjamin, fucking Aisha Tyler, Judy Greer. I fucking love Judy Greer. Chris Parnell. Great fucking people in this fucking show. So actually saying that they're going to be doing more shit with it and actually putting some new shit, because of course, times are hard as of late. Also, this is probably going to be the last season that we actually have Jessica Walters as his mother.
And she passed away, right?
Yeah, she passed away, yeah. So it's going to be I think it's the last season that she's going to be in it, so obviously for more than enough reasons. But yeah. It's good. I'm excited to see the new season of Archer. I'm really, really dope for it. Really fiending for it because I haven't watched Archer in a while, and I'm excited to see new shit. Then some really, really, really cool shit that came out this week is that we got news that Donnie Yen, motherfucking Donnie Yen, who we've seen in a billion things before. He's been Ip Man in like 3 or 4 movies or whatever, and he's been cast.
He's in Rogue One.
Yeah, he was in Rogue One. He was the fucking dopest fucking monk ever. Like a badass fucking almost Jedi that's blind. Fucking great. I loved him in the fucking Rogue One. But he's gonna be in John Wick 4. That's fucking cool because he's fucking great. He's fucking great. Like I've pretty much loved all of the John Wick shit. and to see he's actually going to be in like another lead in this, and he's also supposed to be, you know, kind of like his ally in a way. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with this.
Yeah, I mean, Donnie Yen's like the best movie martial artist right now. So
Yeah,
I'm always there whenever I hear his name. But what's funny is that he's been making a lot of shitty like Hong Kong movies lately.
yeah,
So I'm really glad he's back to normal with John Wick 4, and I'm interested to see what he brings to the franchise. He tends to like bring his style of fighting to whatever production he does. So
yeah.
I'm interested to see what they're gonna do
Mm-hmm.
with the
I'm
gun
very
fu
interested.
and the shenanigans that they do in those movies. I'm really psyched for this. Really interested to see how he looks in it, and yeah, can't wait. I mean, I was excited for anything John Wick.
Yeah,
So yeah, but like this is actually really cool.
it takes it to the next level, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it should be interesting. I'm excited to see that he's going to be in it. And I'm excited to see that, you know, they're actually continuing with the whole John Wick series in general. So
Well, they said they were gonna do another one. That was just a matter of time. But
right,
yeah, I wonder who else they're gonna cast in this. Like, what other surprises are ahead?
right, exactly. And see how much of the, you know, the previous cast will be showing up in this as well, because of course, you know, there are people that didn't pass away in the last ones that, you know,
Yeah.
could possibly be showing up again. So, and that's gonna be pretty fucking cool. Some other shit that kind of broke the internet for a little bit was that we got word from the Flash set or whatever. Basically, the director pretty much put out a picture on the internet, basically of the '86 Batman, the emblem of the '86 Batman with blood on it, and it looks fucking interesting because, of course, you know, we know that, you know, Batman's supposed to be in the Flash, and it is, you know, the '86 Batman, Mike Keaton, in there. But why is the blood there? Kind of shows remnants to them possibly bringing in the Watchmen into this shit, which would be fucking dope, because that's one thing that, you know, showed up in the comics was the whole, you know, the Watchmen tie-in and trying to bring them into the whole, you know, regular DC universe.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too because it's part of the whole rebirth thing, but I doubt it. I just
I
think
highly doubt it too.
the
Yeah,
placement of it is similar, but it doesn't look like the one from Watchmen. Like I went to
no,
double
it
check.
doesn't. Yeah,
But yeah, no, it's interesting. Like they're making it looks like they're making this into like the Flash version, the
like
DC version of the
Flashpoint in a
Spider
way.
Verse. Yeah, like
Yeah.
the DC version of the Spider Verse. But it's not just like more than one version of Flash. They're actually using Batman and probably Superman too.
Mm-hmm.
It looks cool. I
Yeah.
mean, so far so good.
Yeah, so far so good. They also online they also had the girl that's playing Supergirl. She posted some shit that basically she's gonna be the short haired, dark haired
Yeah, nice.
girl as well, and that's gonna be pretty fucking cool. I'm excited for that. Um, but yeah, dude, Batman in the Flash movies, fuck yes, I'm excited for that shit. Um, and then another thing that's coming to actually FX and Hulu is something that I've been a fan of for a while. And the thing that I'm talking about is Why the Last Man, which is a great fucking comic from Brian K. Vaughan, and that was on DC/Vertigo or whatever for a while. And in Why the Last Man, that pretty much sums it all up. Is the fact that, you know, it's the last guy on fucking Earth.
Yeah, some disease like kills off and stops men from being able to reproduce.
Mm-hmm.
And Y is like the only one that survived. Like every man, almost every man gets killed. And yeah, like I read the first two trades and then I just never went back. But it's a good comic book. Like I read stuff about it and I know how much people dig it. And I mean, it's just like the first two trades are really good.
Yeah,
I just never
fucking
got
great.
back around. Yeah, I just never finished it. But yeah, no, I'm actually psyched for this. It's a really cool story, a very different story. Kind of
Mm-hmm.
like the opposite of the Handmaid's Tale. And
Yeah, it's the
Handmaid's
exact
Tale.
opposite of Handmaid's
And
Tale. Yeah.
it's good though. Like if they do it like the comic and they keep it as close to the comic as they can, it's actually a really good story. It's really
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Like a bunch of people die in it, and it's good. I mean, the comic went on for a while too, so
Yeah, it went on
wow.
from 2002 to 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we got the release date for the series. I actually haven't even seen the trailer for it yet. But the series is actually set to release on September 13th.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's fucking exciting. I'm excited for that shit because like I'm a fan of the series and I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with the show. Yay. There's some other news. We've actually spoken about Black Cat actually being in development for a while ago. Probably, I'm gonna say like about a year ago. We mentioned about Black Cat actually becoming an actual thing in the the cinematic universe, I guess, for Sony now. That's another villainous role that they've been working on, because of course Sony's doing all the villains pretty much before they do any type of hero shit after Spider-Man and shit. But yeah, Black Cat is actually continuing in its being in development, so that's gonna be happening soon. So that's gonna be pretty fucking cool. I'm excited to see that. Black Cat's one of those, those villainous roles that you don't expect to actually have anything going on other than being a bad guy. So
Have they said who they cast yet or no?
no, they haven't said anything yet. Like it's still in early development. So
Okay.
they're working on it. They have a story pretty much. They haven't really spoken about who's going to be in it and what's the whole role of anything that's going on with that.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it is pretty fucking cool. Like I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it, because the Sony's been doing a lot of good shit, especially for the Spider-Man universe. Well, from what we've seen so far and what we've spoken about, which with Kraven the Hunter and shit, and the Venom stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna say much about Morbius because, of course, that's just a weird story. But I'm still excited to see what they're gonna do with that. But I want to see what they're gonna do with Black Cat, because Black Cat is for pretty much the first female villain that we're gonna see for that universe. Because the Spider-Man stuff, we've seen nothing but dudes in it so far, and actually seeing a villainous female role in this is gonna be pretty cool. Then in some other news that goes along with the Spider-Man-y stuff, we got news that Issa Rae, who was in the Netflix movie with Kumail, was actually really good. But she also got casted to be in Into the Spider-Verse 2.
Yeah, Spider-Woman.
Yeah, she's gonna be playing the Spider-Woman. That's gonna be fucking cool. Because like I've enjoyed Spider-Woman in the whole Spider-Verse things. So I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with her as in that as well. Because in this, she's good. She's a good actress.
Yeah, she's a great actress. Yeah,
she's a good comedic actress. She does a lot of comedic stuff. She's also on an HBO show, Unwanted or something, on this affiliate or some shit, which I hear is actually really good. I haven't watched it, but yeah, she's fucking good in that show, in that movie with Kumail, who's also in the Marvel universe now.
Yeah, that was good. That was actually a funny movie.
Yeah. But yeah, Issa Rae is gonna be part of the the Spider-Verse, or Into the Spider-Verse Part 2 as Spider-Woman. I'm wondering which version of Spider-Woman they're gonna be using.
And like who? Well, I think it's Jessica Drew one.
Right? Yeah. No. But like, what version of Jessica Drew? Because in one of the recent comics that I was reading, Jessica Drew actually, she had a kid.
Okay.
And she was like a mom, and she was trying to take care of the kid while she was also doing everything and being a superhero and everything, and going through different dimensions, looking for
Okay.
Spider-Gwen and shit like that. So that was really interesting to see how that if they're actually gonna go with that version of Jessica Drew.
I wonder who else they're gonna use, because
excuse
me, they said that the kid who played Miles Morales and Gwen are coming back.
Nice.
To the cast. Wow, what the fuck is wrong with me? I'm blanking on their names, but yeah, the kid that played Miles Morales and Haley Stanfield or whatever, she played Spider-Gwen. They're both coming back, and yeah, just curious to see what other characters they're gonna use.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they're gonna do because, of course, it's such a huge fucking role. There's a lot of things that they can throw into this because the Spider Verse is huge. There's so many different versions of Spider Man
And
that we
so
can
many
actually
villains.
go by. Yeah, and so many fucking villains in the Spider Verse as well. So I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with that. Very fucking exciting. Very cool shit. Gotta love it. Um, and I guess that takes us to the midway point of the episode right now. So if you are interested in checking out after this our review of um The Conjuring, uh stay tuned. But if you're not ready for that yet, you don't want to know what's going on with The Conjurings, one of my favorite series or horror series that we've seen as of late. um Stand by and wait for it. But if not, thank you guys for listening, and enjoy uh the mid song, I guess, or the outro song for now. Um and that's gonna be Hyrule the Hero, somebody that we've been featuring on the show for a while. It's one of my favorite, rappers slash rock singers or hard rock singers that we've had in recent day. Um and he just came out with a new song called FU2. And it features AJ Chain, AJ Chain, ugh, AJ Channer from Fire from the Gods, who's another dope ass band. So check it out, and we'll be right back.
Everybody woke, nobody sleep. We living in insomniac society. We think before we speak, now when we tweet. Satisfied followers, we don't want to lead. We outraged, but is it fake outrage? I'm afraid to say anything. You'll be offended in some way. And you say, fuck us. What fuck you do? And you say, fuck us. What fuck you do? Fake news, all a bunch of fake news. Hashtags being used to influence you. Fake news, all a bunch of fake news. We want the truth. I don't know what to believe. I think you lying to me. You got a trick up your sleeve. This don't feel like freedom to me. Freedom to me. Fuckery, trickery, politicking and dodgery. It ain't go get with the bullshit. Divide and conquer, come blind me. Just so you know, the name of the game is a fuck me, it's fuck you. Just so you know, the name of the game is a fuck me, it's fuck you. Sick of these games, we don't wanna play no more. No one believes. I think you're lying to me. One more suck your blood clot. Fake news, all a bunch of fake news. Hashtags being used to influence you. Fake news, all a bunch of fake news. We want the truth. I don't know what to believe. I think you lying to me. You got a trick up your sleeve. This don't feel like freedom to me. Freedom to me. You lying to my face. Enough is enough. Ain't got the straight with you. You lying to my face. Enough is enough. You lying to my face. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Then you say fuck us. What fuck you do? Then you say fuck us. What fuck you do? I don't know what to believe.
And we are back. Yay. So, for the rest of the episode, we're going to be talking about The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It. Which continues along with, with the Conjuring movies. One of the main three, I guess the first trilogy, other than, the spin-offs that they've had, which is, the Annabelles and the Nuns. But this one follows the Warrens as they try to pretty much exorcise this kid into not having a demon partly fucking with him.
It's an exorcism.
Yeah, it's an exorcism movie. As compared to the other movies, they weren't really exorcism movies. The other ones were more like paranormal shit. Yeah.
Haunted house stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Haunted house, paranormal shit that was happening within a house or within a place that was fucking with people. But this one is more like, okay, this is an exorcism that pretty much spans more than just one place. It's not just one person. It starts off with a child, and then this one kid is like, "Oh, like I volunteer myself to actually take over this demon or whatever that's fucking with people," and it fucks with people. It fucks with people bad. Like the opening scenes are really fucking good in this. They start off really fucking well. Like I really enjoyed the first opening scenes when they're doing the exorcism on this one kid, and kids that are with demons inside of them, the kids that are possessed are creepy as fuck. Seeing the way that they made his body just go.
Yeah, he does a mini Reagan on the table. Yeah, it was cool. Like he gets contorted and everything by the demon and the exorcism, and it's cool. It is a strong opening. Yeah.
That the opening was honestly, it was probably the best part of the entire movie. There were a lot of good things throughout the movie itself, but the opening was probably the best for overall. I enjoyed the movie for what it was. Like I said, it was my first theater going experience in a while. That's one of the things that I enjoyed about it, the fact of actually being there. But as far as the story goes, like it became more of a love story as it went along, because you started to get into the whole Warren story and how they pretty much were like, "Yo, I'm gonna be with you forever" or whatever, and we're gonna figure shit out. We're gonna do whatever it takes to actually be together. No matter what the fuck is going on with our lives or what the fuck is going on with, our careers, in a way, quote unquote careers, as, paranormal investigators and shit. And then that also leads to another love story between, the kid that pretty much gets taken over and his technically fiance at this point, as the story goes along, who actually turns out to be the sister of the kid that was exorcised in the beginning. And their whole love story and how she's like, "I want to be with you," whatever, and we're not gonna let these demons take over and let you take them away.
Yeah, like I mean, the story is basically the Warrens are called to help some kid out, and they basically decided the kid's possessed and he needs an exorcism. When they try to perform an exorcism, the kid who's the boyfriend of the kid's sister takes the I don't know if he was trying to prove something to the girl or what, but he takes the demon into him. He's like, "Yo, don't hurt the kid, hurt me." So like the demon tries to jump into the kid, to the older kid, and it does. And what follows is basically that dude kills somebody, and he was under the influence of the demon, but he thought it was like a monster. And it just kind of goes from there with the Warrens trying to figure out what the hell's going on. I had a really weird time watching this, and I reviewing it too, because it goes back to what I said last time about how certain things aren't made for me. And this is definitely one of the things that is not made for me, which is really hard for me to like review, because I know the movie's good and I know it's well done, and it was like I have no complaints about it, but at the same time, like I didn't enjoy it as much as someone who likes this kind of movie would. Like,
right.
It's not for me. It's not my cup of tea. I like more more gory stuff, and I like harder stuff. Like
Yeah.
I can't even think of anything on the name, but you know what I'm talking
This
about.
this is a good starter movie for people
This
that
is
are like,
this is like mainstream horror, and mainstream horror is just like really sanitized to me, and it's
yeah,
just not the same.
yeah.
So with that being said, this movie out of all the Conjuring movies has been the best one I've seen so far. But then again, I didn't think the other ones were that good. Like we were talking about it before we went on the air that a couple of days ago that I can't tell the difference between this and Insidious.
Yeah, I agree.
Like
They're
literally, like they even and I know the woman's different because the one on the one in Insidious is like she's like one of my crushes. Like she's hot, but yeah, like it's weird because I tried to watch Conjuring 1 and 2, and the same thing happened. Like I got halfway through, and I said, "Fuck this! Like this is just not for me."
Yeah,
And then
honestly, the second Conjuring I wasn't a fan of.
yeah,
But
Insidious is
this
better
one
though.
actually, yeah, Insidious is way better than all three of these. But actually, I wouldn't say it's up to par with the first Conjuring for me.
Okay,
Insidious and the first Conjuring are great fucking horror movies, both for different reasons.
okay,
They both pretty much follow the same type of story, but with the Conjuring stuff, I actually enjoyed it a lot more.
okay.
Yeah, and it's mostly because there's a lot of shit in it that I wasn't expecting. Like with the Insidious movies, I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of see it coming, and I see it happening, and I'm like, okay, I knew where it was going. But for the Conjuring, I was like, okay, I guess whatever, it pops up for the Insidious movies. And the Conjuring is like, it kind of what throws me off for a little bit for all the Conjuring movies. It's like, yo, like this shit is actually based, quote unquote, based on true stories.
Which is bullshit,
Right.
because the Warrens were like eventually found out to be, you know, the frauds that they are and were, and this is one of the cases. Like the real case behind this is one of those cases where like it's based off the Amityville horror case in the house, and yeah, like it was all kind of bullshit. The dude, this is based on a real case though. Like it actually happened, not the way it happened in the movie. The guy who's possessed, he's still alive. I saw it in one of the making of things, which is interesting. Like the guy's still alive, but
and the
but
fact they actually kind of spoke like if you watch towards the end of the movie, like they kind of have the whole
yeah,
thing. Like,
yeah.
He's still with that girl. They're
Yeah,
still
which
together.
is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
yeah, but this one itself isn't the best of the entire series.
I mean, no, I know, but like for me, it was like the only one I could ever sit through.
Yeah,
like the whole thing. So, for that alone, I give it a lot of props because I really don't like this type of horror usually. But no, it was good. It was pretty good. But yeah, it was so weird to like review this because I'm like, yeah, like I can't say it's a bad movie because it's not. But would I recommend it? I don't know.
It's like I said, it's a good starter flick for a lot of people. Like I can see why you're not a huge fan of it because there isn't a lot in it that's very horror-ish. There's not a lot of, you know, especially for, you know, a hardcore horror fan, like there's not a lot of blood, there's not a lot of guts.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of like, oh yeah, there's the only thing that's in this that's a lot of is that there's a lot of intense moments.
Yeah, like I like the story in this is actually good. It was actually easy to follow. There was a specific like ghost that they could talk to or follow, or bad guy that they could follow and use as the villain of the piece. Like these movies are actually really hard when it comes to trying to figure out what they're doing with the horror parts. But yeah, like my only nitpick was the jump scares, which is another thing that I just can't stand. There's just nothing but jump scares.
Yeah,
but I like the story for the most part.
Yeah,
I like the story with the girls actually. That little tidbit when the cops trying to like fuck with her and like see if she's as good as she is. That scene, that whole part of the story, I thought was really interesting. But like everything else was just kind of normal.
Yeah. The fact that they're just like, oh yeah, try to figure this out because there's this whole scene that they're like, oh yeah, you know, she has, you know, she has this connection. She's kind of like a medium in a way, and they're trying to figure out like, oh yeah, we don't believe in any of this shit. We don't believe that fucking the devil's doing anything or whatever. And she's like, yeah, like show me something that you can fuck. And they're like, yo, like prove this or whatever. And they bring these knives to her. She's like, the cop is like, so which knife was used to kill this person or whatever. And then she's like, they're like the dude is arguing with with the cop, and they're just going back and forth, back and forth. She's like, it's this one, and the cop is like, okay, I'll hook you up, I'll help you out. That was pretty cool. That was a real fun scene. Like I enjoyed it. But besides that, like there was a lot of things that I did enjoy about it. Like I actually did enjoy the whole scene when they actually go into the tunnels, pretty much. When they pretty much figure out, like, oh yeah, it's gonna be something to do with this old priest that was pretty much hiding somewhere.
Yeah, the ending thing with the people hallucinating was really good.
Yeah, that shit was great. Like there was a lot of good shit in this movie. I was like, okay, I like this. Like I'm not saying that it's the best fucking horror movie ever either, but it's actually really interesting to see that it's like I'm very skeptical about a lot of paranormal shit. And the fact that people are saying, oh, this could possibly be true, and the fact that there are records of these things. I like to believe that something could be out there, something could be possibly hiding around, but I'm still skeptic about it until I actually see something myself. But yeah, it was an interesting story. Like I'm a fan of the Conjuring series, not necessarily a fan of the spin-offs, but this was actually pretty cool. I enjoyed it a lot, especially being in a theater with actual people watching this as well.
Yeah, that makes a big difference too.
Yeah,
I saw it on HBO Max. So.
Yeah. I'm planning on watching it again on HBO Max as well. But actually watching this movie in a theater with people. And actually getting a black rose, which actually is kind of significant in the movie as well.
Yeah.
It's a fake black rose, but it was kind of interesting that they actually went on, actually got the screeners to actually, here's a little bit of a prop that you could actually go through the movie with or whatever, which kind of makes sense for the movie because they do it kind of fits the movie in a way. Because in the movie they wind up having a black rose or a bunch of flowers delivered to the Warrens' house or whatever, and they're just like, why is this here? And there turns out there's a demonic relic in it and shit. Yeah, and that's why they get all weirded out, and how they have to sacrifice 3 different people.
The totem.
Yeah. So there's you got to sacrifice a holy person and a young kid and a middle-aged kid or whatever, and a teenager or whatever the fuck it is.
It's the innocent something, the lover something.
Yeah. The child, the innocent, and the fucking and the holy person.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's a cool movie. Like I said, it's entertaining. My whole thing is I don't like jump scares. And I mean, check it out. If it's your cup of tea, definitely gonna like it. Like I said, I've seen all 3 movies, and out of the 3, this is my favorite one. I don't know if it's the best one, but this is like one of the better ones of that kind of movie.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like out of the main 3, this is probably my number 2 out of 3 because I didn't like the second one. The first one is my favorite of the 3 because I watched it. Of course, I watched it in theaters as well. And I was super fucking intrigued by it. Like, I fucking love that movie. Like, I love the Conjuring flicks. The first one was, like, of course, like I said, my favorite. The second one, not so much. The spin-offs, I didn't really give a fuck about.
Yeah, I tried to watch Annabelle. I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I couldn't get into Annabelle. I couldn't get into the Annabelle, was it the beginnings or the origins of the fucking Annabelle as well. And then I really couldn't give a fuck about the Nun either because I didn't give a fuck about the second movie either.
Yeah.
It was like, whatever. But yeah, I guess you say it's recommended for people that are ready for a little bit of jump scares and stuff. And it's, like I said, it's a good beginner flick for those that want to get into horror.
Yeah.
So go check it out. It's on HBO Max right now. So if you want to check it out and you don't want to pay and go to the theaters, go check it out there. But But that pretty much wraps it up for this week, right? You guys, you got anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, cool. So make sure you go to Inner City Geeks on that. We've got a whole bunch of shit. Sometimes we got this show. We have It's Poppin'. We have Comics with One Manga Time Anime World. The ICGPW Slamcast. We got Inner City Geeks Turntable. Bright 2J Presents. What else? A bunch of other shit. Go check all that shit out. Yeah, they got a whole that shit there. You can find the show on. You can listen to it on Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, and Google Podcast. Trying to see if maybe we could get it on fucking iTunes, but iTunes is a bit of a cunt sometimes. But fuck iTunes anyway. Where else? You can find us on the Instagram and the Twitters at on Facebook. You can find us on facyspace.com/InnerCityGeeks, on Twitter at InnerCityGeeks, on Instagram at InnerCityGeeks. Where can we find you, sir?
You can find me at DarthBX on Twitter or Instagram. DARTHBX, one word, and yeah.
Yeah, and you guys can find me on the Instagram and the Twitters at Mr. Jackal, MisterJackal. And that pretty much wraps it up for this week. So say goodbyes.
Adios, man. Have a good one.
Yeah. And take care, be safe. But don't be a dick. But always remember, the geeks shall inherit the earth.